Welcome to The Lock Shop with Nielson and Hustler.
All right, it is 11:02. You're riding with The Lock Shop. Check it out. I threw the Play Alberta logo on the TV, and I have to tell you, it looks pretty sick. It looks good. The Edmonton Oilers signed Curtis Lazar, $775 league min. We'll get into that a little bit. We got the oil stream, of course, coming up as well, but that was announced just a few moments ago. Lazar's always, he's a good dude. I remember him when he was in junior. Pretty well-spoken kid back then. Makes me feel really old that Curtis Lazar is 30 years old now. But Curtis Lazar signed. Spent the last 2.5 seasons with New Jersey. Yeah, fourth-line guy. Battle for ice time. So, yeah, there we go. Curtis Lazar. Bootsky says, how many NHL teams now is that for Lazar? I'll tell you right now. Senators, 3 years. Flames, 3 years. Sabres, 2 years. Bruins, 2 years. Canucks, Devils. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. So this will be his 7th NHL team. Trev, quickly, do you hate Curtis Lazar as much as you hate Mangiapane?
No, okay. I don't, but I don't know if he necessarily moves the needle, I guess.
You're right. I mean, he's not moving the needle. He's just a guy who competes for some ice time, I think.
On the Oilers? Probably not.
I mean, he's played 572 games in the National Hockey League.
Yeah.
I mean, I would think he can compete with Kapanen.
Captained the World Juniors
that
team
type of thing.
Connor McDavid won. So, man, there's that. Bring back the win.
I like Lazar. We'll see where he fits in. All right, the Lock Shop is brought to you by Play Alberta. We've got a few plays already up. Also, the July code, like your codes have been reloaded for July. I checked it myself. Deposit 20, get 50. The code is once again EST Sports. All right, so EST Sports, deposit 20, get 50. If you've not yet used our original code, YEG50, deposit 5 and get 50. That's not a reload, but if you haven't used it yet, deposit 5, get 50 at YEG50. And then EST Sports, that one has been reloaded. EST Sports, deposit 20 and get 50. Download the Play Alberta app. We've got the early bird bet of the day, Blue Jays to win, and Judgy with a hit. That's 2-1. That's a pretty nice number. And then my play of the day, Barger hit, Kirk hit. That's boosted to plus 120 as well, as we have to ride these red hot Toronto Blue Jays. I know it's a busy time in Winnipeg as Nick Ehlers watches on, and we'll see what happens there. Huss is shaking his head. Let's bring in Huss from Winnipeg Sports Talk today. Huss, what's the city of Winnipeg like this morning? How you doing, my man?
You know the 50 Cent song Window Shopper? That's how Jet fans feel today.
Oh no.
We're the guy that 50 Cent's making fun of, the broke guy that can't get a test drive in the dealership, or rolls through in the place with the nice bags in the jewelry store and can't afford the nice watch, or maybe he can't afford it but they don't want to sell it to him. Listen, the Ehlers thing is tough, and I already know. I mean, mark my words. This news is going to be bad for Winnipeg, and it's going to drop while we're live today on Winnipeg Sports Talk. And
first of all, great for numbers. Great for numbers.
Yeah, the numbies will be fine. The permanent live reaction of me finding out that Ehlers is going somewhere else will also be there. Listen, I mean, he's earned the right, and I mean, it's just so weird the way everything transpired, Dusty, with all of those deals being signed. And essentially we went into yesterday and Nick Ehlers was the belle of the ball and was the number one guy on the board. And we kind of thought that Brock Besser was a pretty solid number 2. And then Besser decides that he doesn't want to go. Like if I told you, if we had odds going into the weekend of who was more likely to stay with their previous team, Brock Besser or Nikolai Ehlers?
Good point.
Ehlers would have, I think, been by far the favorite to do that. That's flipped. Besser's back. He took, and listen, good bit of business on him. I believe it was reported that the Canucks were trying to get him done on a deal during the season at around $40 million. He was able to wait it out, returned to a place where he obviously wanted to stay, and got an extra 10 mil out of it with the $50 million deal basically for 7 years. But it's no surprise that there's a lot of suitors for Ehlers. We did hear that the Avalanche are in the mix.
Oh,
that's the one way. The one way Ehlers could maybe be, like, if he goes to Carolina or one of these places like out east, he'll be welcome back. Everyone will always love him. If he goes in the division, that's going to be a little bit of a different story. I think that'll be tougher to take. That'll be a little bit more of a heel turn for Nick. But I guess everyone here is still kind of holding out hope that there may be some sort of Brock Besser-like revelation that the grass isn't necessarily greener. But by all accounts, it sort of feels like the ship has sailed right now. And if he was going to be back in Winnipeg, there was plenty of time to do that before. He could have realized that, if the offers weren't exactly what he was hoping for, the right place. He's got the right to do it, though. It is kind of funny, though, with almost no big names out there, that he's decided to take a full couple days to make the decision, which is not the norm usually in and around free agency. But that just speaks to the options I think he has and how few other guys that, were on the market ready to go. But we are prepared for some bad news today. I'll leave it at that.
Well, what is there a plan? What's a plan B for Winnipeg? Is a plan B just this is our roster now and let's go from there? Or
listen, I don't think that was the case. I mean, the other guys that they had thought that they would be aggressive in on Brock Besser, and apparently they were, but he didn't want to leave. And I heard you guys talking about Mangiapane. I mean, Mangiapane, I think, would have been a guy that the Jets would have been absolutely interested in bringing in. And I think they did, and that's, listen, we don't need to go down all the reasons why, listen, it's a have and a have not league right now. And the Vegases and the Floridas and, even a place like Edmonton, which probably normally wouldn't be because of geography and Canada and all that. I mean, when you got McDavid and you've got Draisaitl and you've been back-to-back champs of the West going to the Cup final, guys want to play there. Despite winning a President's Trophy and having Jonathan Taves in the mix, it didn't seem like that really moved the needle for a lot of free agents yesterday. So the plan B is certainly, and this might end up working out great for the Jets. I mean, you don't sign any bad July 1 deals, and all of a sudden you got a lot of cap room and flexibility, and hopefully players in your organization are able to take that next step. But, there's no way to sugarcoat this. If Nick Ehlers walks, which it looks like he will, that is a massive hole in the Jets' top six. It's a huge hit to the power play. And the team loses a player that was one of certainly the most popular players for the 10 years he's been in Winnipeg. So, yeah, I don't know. There wasn't a lot of, as I said, it was window shopping yesterday for the for the Winnipeg.
But you were on a beach somewhere anyway, weren't you?
Yeah, I did. I was up at Victoria Beach for a couple days, checking in on the folks and doing the thing. I mean, hey, it was nice weather. We had a great thunderstorm here last night.
I saw there was some fireworks in the thunderstorm.
It was wild. It was totally wild. The skies were nuts, and I guess they were supposed to do a massive fireworks show at the stadium. They do the Bombers and Princess Auto put on a big party they have for the last couple of years, free to everyone. They do kind of family stuff all day, and then they did bands. They had Big Wreck playing last night. But that storm rolled in, and they weren't able to fire them off. So I'm hoping that massive Canada Day fireworks show just got put in the shed, and maybe the next time the Bombers are at home and win, blast that all off afterwards. It would be pretty nice. Hey, let me ask you. I mean, you mentioned Mangiapane.
Yeah.
What's how are people feeling about the Oilers? Because it was a pretty eventful day. I mean, you had a bunch of guys leave, and you brought a bunch of guys in. I mean, this wasn't just a sit around and stand pat and do nothing day for Edmonton.
Yeah. So they found a way to move Arvidsson, which cleared up some cap space. They obviously got the Bouchard deal done a couple of days ago, and then early in the day, they brought in a couple of American League guys. I would expect this Lazar signing from today. I think he'll probably be And he's basically going to be batting with Philp, I think, to be the fourth line center to start the season as a right shot guy. So that'll add a little bit of competition down at in the bottom six. But it was relatively quiet because they signed 2 AHL guys yesterday. And then, I posted a tweet around, I don't know what time it was, 2-3 o'clock. And I said, if this is the roster, what expectations do you have for it? And people were just like, I don't know if they're going to make the playoffs. Like, some people were like full blown panic. I was like, listen, like there was multiple people. I said, listen, they already they have a playoff roster already. I mean, but Brown got paid $12 million over 4 years with New Jersey. Corey Perry did well for himself following Ken Holland to the Kings. And then last night I was actually at the Canada Day baseball game here, 9,200 last night here for the Riverhawks. Sold out, awesome time, fireworks after.
How big is that park?
9,200. It was sold out. It was the biggest crowd in the league's history. So they were happy with that. But while I was there, that's when Mangiapane signed. And, he had that one huge year where he scored 35 for Calgary. That was the year Calgary was really good, right? They had everybody going and they were putting up some good numbers. Usually outside of that, he's been 14 to 18 goals, can kill penalties. They need him to kill penalties. Probably a pretty wise move for him. And I think that's why I believe it was reported that he had some $4 million offers on the table, came here for a little bit less because he sees a spot next to one of Draisaitl or McDavid, right? Come here, play with them. You're not going to be on PP1, but if you play with one of those two guys for most of your regular season, it's a 2-year deal. Maybe you pot 22 to 25 goals in back-to-back years. Then you're a free agent again and go cash in a little bit better. So I think YouTube Trev can't stand him. It's like one of his biggest hated players in the league. So he was distraught this morning. He's just like, he's a weasel and a rat. And, so he was, we talked to him.
Those Flames ties.
That's the thing. Trev couldn't overcome it. I think it's a decent value deal. And, a little bit of upside there, I think. So we'll see. Yeah. But they've got less than $2 million left now. So probably not much else. And I said this morning, like, it's not the worst thing in the world for us to watch the Oilers get to the deadline and not have to be on the air that morning going, money in, money out, money in, money out. It'd be nice to maybe they can, do something of significance at the deadline this year, or maybe a goalie does shake loose during the season and you give yourself a little bit of flexibility to pull the trigger on something.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, they certainly didn't want to be in the situation they were in last year because we know where that ended up.
Yeah.
Getting them. So, and I'll just say this on Mangiapane. What did he sign a 2-year at 3.2?
2 years, 3.6.
3.6.
Yeah.
I would bet he left at least $1 million on the table, just knowing what I think Winnipeg would have paid him.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure the Jets would have offered a couple years at 8.5 or 8.5 or something like that. So, listen, there is a draw to playing and having the opportunity to play with a Draisaitl or a McDavid. He's obviously familiar with Alberta and living there. Although I know some people will say it's a very different scene in Calgary than it is to Edmonton, and I get that, especially with the hockey rivalry. But I as far as value signings for guys that can potentially play top six and contribute and have the potential to be effective doing that. Listen, I think when you look at what some of the other players got, I think that was money well spent by Edmonton. And he is a versatile player that I think is going to help the team. So we were a little envious of that signing here in the Peg, but we were envious of most signings because basically the Moose are loading up right now.
They're getting good roster there. Zach Holman over in the chat says Isaac Howard, and it's a successful offseason. Isaac Howard is a college guy in the Lightning organization right now. We were told a little while ago, probably in the last 30 minutes, that as of this moment with Isaac Howard, the Tampa Bay Lightning are basically asking for a ransom. Like, the asking price is just too much, and the Oilers would rather wait and maybe go after him if he becomes a free agent and doesn't sign in Tampa. So I wouldn't hold your breath on Howard. They've been talking, but apparently the price tag right now is just way too high for the Oil. So we'll see.
This is a guy that hasn't played yet.
Yeah. This is a guy out of college. It looks like a pretty good Let me bring him up here. I looked at him a little bit the other day when I heard Mackenzie say that they were taking a bit of a peek at him. Last 2 years, Michigan State. This past year, Michigan State, he had 52 points in 37 games. He was a first rounder of the Lightning in 2022. And the others have been talking about him with the Lightning. But apparently the price tag right now is just simply too much. So,
okay, I may have missed this, but what's the story? Like, why isn't he just signed with Tampa?
Well, I mean, that's a good question. I'm not too sure. Like, we were just told that they might just sit and wait and see if he goes unrestricted free agency if he doesn't sign with the Lightning, but I don't necessarily know why he wouldn't sign with the Lightning. It's a good question.
There's
Anyway,
still a few guys there. We're paying attention to, like, Jack Roslovic is still out there. He obviously spent some time in Winnipeg, was traded out in the Line A deal.
You got time for a reunion there or what?
Yeah, I mean, listen, the bottom line is they need another middle six body at minimum. Somebody that can pop in and play, potentially in Ehlers' spot at times. May need to be play center. But the pickings seem to be pretty slim right now. And most of the Jet announcements have all been of a more kind of two-way deal nature right now as we get through it. What was your, like, who do you think did really well yesterday?
It's funny. I was just going to ask you who you thought the big winner was. And, it's not necessarily just yesterday, but the winner of free agency is the same team that won the cup. Like, they got Ekblad for 6.1. They kept Brad Marchand. They got Sam Bennett, which, I mean, were you surprised by it? I thought it was very likely that they kept all three guys. Like, this is what they do in Florida. They find a way to keep guys, and they did it again.
Yeah, well, listen, I mean, I guess Ekblad wanting to stay for a very, very friendly team deal. I mean, listen, I get it why guys are wanting to do it. I mean, it's probably
there's a number of factors, right?
It's the best place to play in the National Hockey League. They just won 2 cups. You're seeing everybody else there maybe take a little bit less than they could get on the open market to stick around. And, not to mention, I mean, everybody hates moving, right? So, I mean, don't underestimate that. I think that was a big part of, the Brock Besser as well, just wanting to kind of stay in a familiar place. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem to be working with Nick Ehlers. But the one that blew my mind was the Marchand deal.
Yeah, 6 years to 43.
Yeah, like, we'd heard that, okay, Marchand really wants term. And the Leafs are willing to give him the term. Like, 3 years? No, he wants 4 years. And 4 years seemed insane. And he wants a raise. I mean, he wants to be paid he wants a little back pay on that contract that was so cost efficient for the Bruins all these years. So the ask was going to be 8x4. Well, that doesn't work for Florida. Hey, Marshy, here's an idea. We'll just call it a 6-year deal. And you can sign it. And now the one thing I don't know, like, I guess, is he going to try and play through it all? Like, if you retire,
I don't know. They must have a way out of it. He's not going to play until he's 43.
No matter what. Like, that's the thing. Like, it's like that money, like, in 5 years and 6 years, Florida is going to be paying the 6.1 on the cap. Like that, it's an over 35 contract. There's no way to wiggle out of that. So essentially, they're kicking it down the road, giving them a better chance to win right now, and they'll get an invoice for that. Now, whether Marchand's still playing, I have no idea.
But even if he's not, I know it sounds ridiculous because it would be a huge waste of cap space. But let's say you get 2-3 more years out of him, take a couple more runs at it. The cap is going to continue to go up by $10 to $20 million, and they've got everybody else signed as well, right? Yeah. So it's not like they're going to be sitting there going, oh man, we can't keep Reinhart because of the Marchand money. Like, they're all signed through 2030, and lots of them signed through 2032. So, and with the cap going up, I think they might just be sitting there going, we'll just swallow that if it has to be 2 years after, at the end of it or something like that, or try to pawn it off on somebody else, somewhere along the way. So
If only the Coyotes were still kicking around.
hey, by then they might be back.
Yeah, that's right. Give them an expansion team at that point, and then they can start taking on more contracts from other teams in and around the league. I thought despite the fact that the Leafs lost Mitch Marner, and you're taking 102 points out of your lineup, I thought they did actually pretty well. Like when you think about the deal that Tavares took, which was way, way below what he could have got on the open market. And I was impressed with the deal they did with Matthew Nyes. You want to talk about a real difference. Like Nyes seems to be part of maybe a little bit of a different breed there. I mean, every one of those other guys bent the Leafs over and grinded them for as much as they possibly could get. I think if Nyes really wanted to go that route, he could have easily been well over 8. Maybe he could have had a shorter deal. I think he's certainly put himself, and it's ironic that it's the hometown guy leaving for all the money and one of the American guys that are deciding to stay in and signing a deal like that. But it is and again, it's a new general manager, but they did a good bit of business there. And then, they added a few around the periphery. They got Lorentz back, but I really did like that. The one team that I don't know, like the Boston Bruins, they made a bunch of signings, but did they not seem like they're just on the verge of being a team that might be in the mix for the 8th spot if things go really well?
I mean, they traded for Arvidsson. They brought in Tanner Janot, who has done nothing for 3 years and gave him a 5-year deal. I don't know. Something I did not expect. But I think they were the biggest losers of the day. Nothing against the Kings because everybody wants to rip Ken Holland, but I thought Boston screwed up the most. Like, what are they doing? Where are they heading? What are they doing?
They're heading right into the mushy middle of the National Hockey League, where they're not bad enough to probably be in the Gavin McKenna mix. And I don't think they're good enough to be a top team. Like, listen, I like Mikey Esamont. He's one of those guys that, might crack a third line at some point, probably a fourth line.
Decent energy guy.
What I didn't understand? The Rangers moving off K'Andre Miller
to bring in Gavrikov.
No, I guess they did get a 1st-round pick and a 2nd-round pick.
And they got Scott Morrow, who's a decent. I like Scott Morrow. He's a pretty good offensive defenseman his first year in the American League. So you're flipping basically Gavrikov, a 1st, a 2nd, and Morrow for Miller.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's not bad.
Yeah. And then you just add Gavrikov just for simply cash.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
It was funny after the who was it that signed after the. And then, I'll put Columbus is in another one of these have-not teams where you just have to hold your nose and overpay like crazy. Like when Provorov got $8.5 million for 7 years. Like I was watching TSN and they go, wow, does that mean Gavrikov might start with a 9?
Yeah.
I'm going, jeez, are you kidding me? He ended up just going for 7. So there was a few deals actually that I thought would be more. How about this one? Speaking of goaltending, Jake Allen,
5 years,
1.8. Like it's not even $2 million.
Yeah.
He was number 4 on the TSN big board, which speaks to just how brutal this
awful big board,
UFA class was. But 5 years at 1.8. I mean, I would have thought that Jake Allen could have gotten 3 somewhere if he wanted to. I guess maybe he just wanted to stick around.
He might have been able to, but would have been for 2 years. He's sitting there, give me more money, put me on for. I don't know if Jake Allen's going to play 5 more years in the National Hockey League, but probably what I would think that was about. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, it was a weak list of free agents, but definitely some talking points for sure.
Did you watch much of the frenzy on TSN?
I didn't because we're driving down to Calgary for the Stampede Bowl. We're leaving this afternoon, and then my parents and my sister are coming up Friday, Saturday. So we had to clean the house. I had to mow the lawn. So I was basically just following as much as I could on Twitter. So I didn't see any of it. How'd they fill time?
Well, they did exactly that. I saw Craig Button dropping a Plinko thing down at one point. And whatever, they talked about the deals. They had it was all hands on deck. The funniest thing though is that, they ended the day with the number one free agent not being signed. Then it's basically like, all right, we're done. See you next season. And everyone's gone. The one thing though, the reason why I wanted to bring it up, the end of the program was really, really cool.
Yeah, I watched that online.
Bringing in the Bob father for one more stand up on TSN. I got me thinking about Mackenzie. Like he's the Don.
He created it all, man. He created it all.
Like he really is the hockey insider. And everyone has sort of followed his paths, and not just in hockey. When I saw Dave Naylor writing about it, really set the blueprint for newspaper guys to move into television and be, TV personalities and insiders. But he still is. Like if he wanted to, he would still be the number one guy in the game.
100%. Nothing against Drager and Elliott, but Bob's that guy.
Bob is Bob.
Yeah,
right? Credit to him. 69, still looks great. He's got a couple grandkids now. It's going to be just,
He was a legend on our show, man. We had him every Friday for like 10 years. And he would work out with Pitbull. So he became known as Mr. Worldwide on our show. And he ate it up. So when he would join us, we'd be playing Pitbull music. And he was fantastic. And but he created something that didn't exist before. The insider. That wasn't that guy. And he transitioned so well into the social media era as well. Because he was doing it well before then. And then not only did he transition well into it, he owned the social media era for a long time. And all those guys who are great at it now, the job exists because of Bob McKenzie. So good on him to, 69 years old, got a lot of runway left, spend some more time with family. And he'll be missed though. He's my favorite. He just always has been, man. I remember the first time I met him at a draft, I was just starstruck. I was just like, oh my God. I'm sitting here. Yeah. There was one night I went out for drinks and I don't know why I was invited, but it was Bobby Mack. It was a bunch of those guys. And I just sort of sat there. It was just, this is when I was just at 1260 radio. And because I guess a few of them were on the show, they're like, oh, come on. So I just sat there. I didn't say anything. I just sat there and listened for 4 hours. It was just so good.
Yeah, I had a couple of similar experiences. I'd be out with Gary on the road early on in the HNL days. And I'm like, holy shit, that's Bobby Mack. And, you're going to sit there. Hey, nice to meet you. And, but I definitely wish him well. And that's a hit. Now, again, he had been in semi-retirement and he'd really sort of kind of cleared out except for World Juniors, Deadline Day, and Free Agent Frenzy. But he's raised the bar so high. Like it speaks to his contributions that there's not just, okay, this is the new Bob McKenzie. Literally it's going to take Drager and LeBrun and CJ, and everybody to fill that space that was Bob McKenzie for so long. And listen, that's kind of already started over the past couple of years with him taking a step back on a day-to-day basis. But I wasn't expecting that yesterday, of him to say, that's it, off into the sunset. And
the greatest trade breaking moment in social media history when he just said the deal is 1 for 1. Like with the Taylor Hall deal. The deal is 1 for 1. He brought it up as he announced his full retirement yesterday. Yeah. That was a game changer in the social media breaking of trades. That was the moment. People talk about that for forever.
Well,
So
we certainly will hear. If you recall, I was live on the air when that happened, I just started in the afternoon.
yeah,
And that single hour had the Hall,
the Weber
the
deal.
Hall trade, the Weber Subban deal.
There was one other one, wasn't there?
And Stamkos
That's right.
staying with the Lightning and re-signing that long-term deal. So yeah, definitely some jaw-dropping moments brought to us by Bobby Margarita, who now can go off into retirement.
We like to be transparent. It's an honest show. Never really loved the margarita drink. Remember he had the Bobby margaritas?
You tried it?
Oh yeah. We got a flat of it. And I was just like, it was okay. Because we promoted it on when he was on with us and stuff. And I'm always like, you got to try it. But I'll just be honest with you. Never really liked it.
I never saw it. I'll certainly give the benefit of the doubt to any margarita. So I will.
I'm also not a margarita guy. So for margarita guys, maybe it was delicious. I mean, I'm sure there's people listening who had it. So yeah, that's good. Okay.
While we're talking about drinks, I got to give a shout out to a loyal ESTer and nasty Steve Tansoni.
Oh yes, what's going on
Calgary. So Steve contacted me. He was actually bizarrely in Boston with one of my clients who called me, said, there's a guy that wants to talk to you. And he's like, you don't know me, but I love the show. You and Dusty are awesome together. I want to bet you on Draisaitl versus Hellebuck for the Hart Trophy.
Oh boy.
So I'm like, okay, I'll take it. And so I guess we originally bet a bottle on this. Now, he contacted me this week saying, hey, you know what? You won fair and square. How do I get this to you? Or what do you want to do? And I said, well, to be perfectly honest, I don't drink a ton of hard stuff as it is. So I'm not pining for a bottle. I'm more a beer drinker. I go, how about this? Instead of a bottle, let's just call it a 12-pack. But you're in Calgary. You're going to be at this game between the Bombers and Calgary on the Stampede
That's
Bowl.
true.
Let's spicing this up. Let's go double or nothing on the 12-pack. So if Calgary can cover the 3.5, we're good. Your debt has been paid. If the Bombers win by 4 or more and cover, it is doubled. I now have a 2-4. And he said, I'm absolutely in, but the beer has to be 6 o'clock or lager.
Yes.
So hopefully I'm going to be moving a rack of 6 o'clockers for you. Are those available in Calgary?
Yeah. They're available at Sobeys and Safeway Liquor in Calgary.
Okay.
Yeah, all across the province at Sobeys. And actually, I think they're starting to pop up at other liquor stores because they were exclusive to Sobeys until we ran through 1,000 flats. And we banged through 1,000 flats pretty quickly. So now any other liquor store can also get it off of somebody texted our whole group the other day, and it was at another liquor store in Calgary as well. There's Steve. He's over in the chat. He says, Huss, I'm listening today. So there we go.
Steve, right on.
There we go. Okay, let's use that to transition. There's a lot I want to get to. Blue Jays are red hot. We've got some golf, John Deere Classic. We'll get to that quickly. We'll give some of our favorite. SGA got a new deal, and Red Panda is down. Did you see that yesterday?
Listen, first Lillard, then Tatum, then Halliburton, and now Red Panda. I mean, the biggest stars in the NBA are dropping like flies. Huge Red Panda fan, shocked, dismayed of that injury and the disaster yesterday. But tell you what
a ridiculous talent to have, though. Obviously, she didn't do well at it yesterday, but to be on a huge unicycle and throw bowls from your foot to your head is just, I don't know if it's like, is it in the family? Is she a 4th generation trickster but it's insane.
How do you even think of trying to do that?
That's what I said this morning. Yes.
Like, it would be a really cool halftime show. Let's get a middle-aged woman, stick her on a massive unicycle, and then we'll give her a bunch of bowls. What the hell is she going to do with the bowls? Oh, I got it. she's going to kick them onto her head. And
Impossible.
Just keep doing it.
Impossible.
It does sound, and it looks impossible every time. The greatest halftime show in the game right now. Red Panda. So, yes, get well soon. Get well soon, Red Panda. What up?
Yeah.
I guess you're away for a couple days.
I am for the next 2 days, yeah.
Do you guys have 4th of July hot dog odds up yet?
No, we do not at Play Alberta. It's something I've got to talk with them about. But how much?
So
what's the number if we see it on Joey?
It's the over under. I mean, he's like minus 2,500 to win. Obviously, he's gonna win.
Yeah.
The over under on Chestnut hot dogs and buns eaten is 71 and a half. 72 would not be a record.
Really?
So, and it's plus 105.
So a reasonable
plus
number
on the over.
Yeah.
So listen, I'm blindly in on Joey, but again, if you are in on that, we're seeing 71 and a half as the Chestnut line, and it's juiced to the under. So listen, believe in greatness, believe in the man that has gone where no competitive eater has ever gone before, and will continue to do so by adding another mustard belt to his collection on Friday. But considering he missed last year, coming back, not being the defending champion, I think we're in for a huge return to Coney for Joey. So I'm loving the over 71 and a half.
He's the Red Panda of hot dog eating.
Yeah, exactly. To competitive eating, he is to bowl flipping. And
John over in the chat says, how is Joey Chestnut still alive?
He's
one of the greatest athletes of our time. That's how.
He trains 12 months a year for this.
SGA gets a $71.25 million per year deal. I don't know if you saw, Bleacher Report broke this down. 5.94 million per month, 1.48 million per week, $869,000 per game, $212,000 per day, $8,800 per hour, $147 per minute, and $2.45 per second. Huss. That's what this guy's rolling in right now. Incredible stuff.
Hey, listen, he the NBA is set up that if you're a really high pick and you produce and you stay with your team, you'll get the huge money.
You get to those max contracts, right?
But then first team all NBA, MVP, that puts you into the Supermax category. And when the Supermax is on the table, you sign that thing ASAP. And coming off one of the great seasons all time in NBA history, it couldn't have been a better time for him to sign a deal. So he's got it. And listen, I think we can safely block off that date in December where we talk about the Northern Star Award and just go over Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's incredible run. But that's some serious cash, NBA record deal. Although speaking of money in the NBA, how about the Bucks?
I know.
Buying out Dame Lillard. Get this. Do you know what the biggest previous to this, the biggest buyout in NBA history was?
Give me a clue. What team did it?
You'll have 500 guesses and you'll never get it.
Oh, really? What team? Give me the team at least. Let me try.
Poof.
Oh God, we can't even remember the team. I'm never going to get it. You're right.
I can't. I'm going to say maybe the Wizards or something like that. 2000, 25 years ago, Bison Dele was bought out, and it was $30 million. Now the Bucks have bought out Dame. He's going to get all 113 mil, and for the next 5 years, they're going to have 23 million on their cap, which is just something you just don't see in the NBA. And then they went and got Miles Turner, which was wild. I mean, the guy's
changed the look of their team, right? Like those are two completely different players. What was interesting
Well,
is
for
that,
sure. Is he that much better than Brooke Lopez?
oh yeah, at this stage of their career, I would 100% every single time have Miles Turner. But what's interesting is that apparently they didn't give Giannis like a heads up on this. He wasn't happy about it. So there's already been Giannis discussions. And I think you got to be really careful with the, disrupting a guy of that caliber and status. It's not ideal. He'll probably end up in LA with Luka and LeBron and Giannis, and then they'll win a title or two.
Are we sure that LeBron's going to be in LA?
You know what? I did look, and I can't remember which website put it out. Like 4 trade proposals of teams that can go get him. And Dallas had an interesting one. Not that I don't think those two, well, maybe, I mean, who knows if they'd hook up again. But Dallas could keep like their key guys. They'd have to move Gafford, who's one of their centers. But Dallas could do it. And Cleveland could actually financially put together a deal where they keep most of their key guys and bring him in as well. I don't think it happens. I think he'll play another year for the Lakers, and then maybe there's a late career LeBron free agency sort of thing for a year or something. But I don't think that'll happen.
He could have just not signed his player option.
Well, that's what doesn't make sense about it, right? Like, if he really wanted to go somewhere, he could have just not signed his player option, gone sign somewhere, right?
Well,
so
with every other year, he hasn't signed the option, and he's done like
another 1-1. Yeah, this time he just decided to take the second year and then give himself, full flexibility next year as well. So, we'll see what happens in the NBA. There's still some deals to get done there. Let's throw some golf picks here in a second. But the Blue Jays, buddy, game out of first place. They get the Yankees again today. Georgie's on fire right now, and the Jays are contending, and it's interesting, isn't it?
Oh my God, is it ever? Okay, it's a 6:00 game. Sometimes they have these earlier games. I love it. Barrios versus Will Warren. Blue Jays plus money. Can they complete?
I'm already on them, buddy. I'm already on them.
The vibes are so good around the Blue Jays right now. And you got to think that, the Yankees are struggling. They're hitting it. I mean, they could be tied for first if they win this game tonight.
Yes.
Give me the Jays. Give me the Jays.
Plus money on the Jays. Come on. Of course. We got to ride with the Blue Jays. Riding the Pine over in the chat says, did we just sign Lazar? It was about 30 minutes ago. Curtis Lazar has signed with the Oilers. We'll get to that coming up on the oil stream here at noon. Kind of talk about who he'll be competing with for ice time in the bottom 6. Huss, John Deere Classic, buddy. Give me some of your favorite plays here. Who do you like?
Wow, this is this is always a tough one because no one seemingly is playing in the event. I got to tell you that I got to just pull these odds back up here. Listen, I've been a Ben Griffin guy all year long. I guess I have time for him at 14-1. But doesn't this seem like it's going to be one of these tourneys like last week with Aldrich Poitgetter? Yeah. By the way, our old pal Pat hit that at 150-1.
What?
Yeah.
That's insane.
150-1 on Poitgetter. But I mean, I kind of like looking a little bit further down the board. Now it's wide open. I mean, the only guys under 30-1 are Jason Day, and then you got Denny McCarthy and Thorbjornsson, which is wild. This is a guy that hasn't really won anything, but he was right there last week at the Rocket in the top 5. A lot of people feel that he's going to pop. Frankly, I think the numbers should be better, but I'll probably get a piece of him this week. Luke Clanton, rookie on the tour.
Yep.
This is the sort of event that we often see breakouts. Like in the previous years, it was the 3M, it was the Rocket Mortgage Classic, which is now just the Rocket Classic, and the John Deere, that you see some of the real top young players jump in. I've been waiting for a good week to jump on Clanton. I think this week is that one. Another guy that I love that, can mash that I kind of think maybe should be a little bit higher is Jake Knapp, considering a piece of him.
Jake Knapp's one of my guys this week too, buddy. I agree with you on Jake Knapp. Yeah.
And then, you know what? You just kind of look a little bit further down. But it is crazy. You look at a guy like Keith Mitchell, who you can get at 50. Like, how is Mitchell not at least in that group of all those other guys, like in and around in the mid-30s? I don't know. To me, I think there's some good value on Keith Mitchell. I'm out on Jaeger. He was good to us, earlier in the year, and last year, but he's been off. And I still can't believe how bad Tom Kim has been to be in the 70s.
He's fallen off, hasn't he?
A little piece, Thorbjornsen, Luke Clanton, Jake Knapp, and then Kashmir Keith, 50-1. Give me a little piece of him.
Yeah, Jake Knapp was the one guy that I want to throw into top 20 here as well. He hits greens, and most importantly, he's among the best performers on par fives so far this season as well. So I like Knapp. So we'll put something together with Knapp and you said Knapp, Clanton, Mitchell, and who else? Who's the other one?
Thorbjornsen.
Man, that would be a tough. Thorbjornsen. That's his last name. I wish it was just his first name, Thor, and then Bjornsen, but it's Michael Thorbjornsen. All right, quickly on the CFL, Huss. Drew Brown taking first team reps before rolling into Edmonton on Sunday. Red Blacks getting Drew Brown back would change a few things, I think, for this game against Edmonton and
you know what it's going to change? It's going to change the Elks money line, which is going to get us a better number.
It is.
When we take them to win their first game of the season in front of that crowd at home on the weekend. Are you doing that game?
I am doing that game. I'm going to do Calgary tomorrow and then back here for Sunday.
Nice little break. You got the Thursday and the Sunday game.
Yeah, there's a little extra day in between, which will be nice with some family in town. So
obviously being at home, I do see that money line has, and the line I was looking earlier today, I saw it at 2. Now it's at 2.5. Listen, much like last week, I was adamant. Argos money line as an underdog in the Sunday game. I'm feeling the exact same thing with the Elks right now. What I don't know is this matchup for the BC and Montreal game. Like, what are you hearing about quarterbacking?
I saw that Davis Alexander didn't take, like, he was out for half a practice and left yesterday. I also watched a video of Nathan Rourke saying he thinks he's going to be good to go, which is why I think the lines moved a little bit towards the BC Lions here. Yeah, with Rourke being good to go and then still uncertain status for Davis Alexander.
Yeah, I mean, if we're getting over a field goal in this game, like I'm seeing 3.5 right now, if it's that or more, and it's Rourke versus MBT or Caleb Evans, not that BC's given me any reason to believe in them the last few weeks.
I know that's why I've kind of been hesitant because we got it at 4 right now at Play Alberta and it was at 5.
Oh.
But if it's Rourke,
was it 5?
It was at 5, man. It opened at 5 on Monday, so I have it at 5 already. But for people, I'm telling you, if Rourke's going and it's not Davis Alexander, and Huss is right, the Lions haven't given us any reason to really be like, oh, get on it. But they also haven't played with Rourke their last 2 games essentially. Last 3 games really, 2.5. So if it's over a field goal, which it is right now, I think the Lions are the play, but monitor that Davis Alexander status for sure.
Hamilton, Toronto, pick 'em. Who you got?
Hamilton.
I'm going to take the good quarterback. Basically, I'm taking the better QB.
Now, Arbuckle leads the league in passing right now, but he's played the 4 games so far. But I think I like Bo in a pick 'em situation. And then I won't be around the next couple of days. I'll just tell you right now, I'm on the Bombers. I've got a parlay with Bombers money line, Ticats money line, BC plus the points, and then Elks money line, and it pays over 10-1. So, yeah, I like those. We've got overtime happening right now. Is it over? Is it done? We had overtime between YouTube, Trev, and Zacticum in Tecmo, and Trev just won it in overtime.
Poor Zach.
It was what? 2 plays and it was over in overtime? Okay, so yeah, Zach has just 1 win, Zach? Zach just has 1 win. So big overtime win for Trev. He needed it. I already beat him earlier in the day, so.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on most of those picks. I was just doing CFL 110 with Hammer, and we were trying to think about a little CFL 110 parlay. And I think we're going to take the Bombers, relay the 3.5. And then to me, these like the Hamilton and the Edmonton picks, they're money line picks. So I like the fact that the Edmonton number's gone up a little bit. And we'll take the Ticats. And as they say, that BC Montreal is such a tough one to get into with the uncertainty about the quarterbacks. But as I say, if it's Rourke and it's not Davis Alexander and it's anything above 3.5 or more, I will be on BC, but I'm not going to put that in a parlay right now and try and get a little more information.
All right, WSC, buddy, what's coming up?
Well, I mean, recap of yesterday, latest on Nikolai Ehlers. We will talk some Bombers before the Bombers Stamps game tomorrow. And as they say, likely getting some bad news, which would be like a knife to many WST listeners, and it'll probably happen while we're live on the air. So
thoughts are with you. Thoughts are with you, buddy. All right, you have a good show today. I'll be gone in the next couple of days, and then you're gone next week.
Yeah, we did an auction for with the Health Sciences Center Foundation. So I'm hosting an auction winner out at Aikens Lake Wilderness Lodge. So we're going to be pulling some big ones out of the lake and having a good time. So sort of my 1 week. I won't be taking too much other time. So enjoy next week. It's kind of a good time. Bomber off week. The hockey's everything going to slide down, but I'll be back the following week. So thanks to Iwanek and the fellas who will fill in. And in the meantime, have a great call tomorrow. Looking forward to the first ever Stampede Bowl.
The Stampede Bowl. It's going to be incredible. All right, there you go. Winnipeg Sports Talk. Hustler's coming up right away. See you later, buddy. There you go. Zach, you throw me up there. All right, let's give you a quick look. The EST code has been reloaded. EST Sports. Deposit $20, get 50. I've also sent golf partner parlay over Thorbjornsen, Knapp, and Clanton, all to finish top 20. The boys are working on it right now. When it's ready, it'll pop up on our EST specials page. Blue Jays to win, Springer with a hit, that's plus 200. My play of the day, a Barger hit and a Kirk hit, plus 120. So a couple of Blue Jays plays there as they try to finish the job here against the Yankees and move to a tie for first in the AL East. And then that golf parlay will be coming up. The DGen Dan will be sending something over as well. And I'll do something else for Jay's play of the day. So all of those are up. Use the code. Has been reloaded. So if you used it last month, it's good to go again. EST Sports, deposit 20, get 50. $50 free bet. I just checked it myself, did a little deposit, got the 50. So hop on. Maybe you want to wait, use it on CFL this weekend, or maybe you want to try to ride with the Jays today, and maybe a little sprinkle on that golf parlay when it goes up. It should be a pretty darn good number. All right, Curtis Lazar, as of this morning, is now an Edmonton Oiler. We will get into that a little bit with myself and Tom Gazzola on the oil stream for Boston Pizza. That's going to be starting in less than 5 minutes. Thank you very much for watching the Lock Shop today. Best of luck if you're riding tonight, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.